Ever wondered how GFRIEND was formed? Well, today we're going to see how GFRIEND was formed from trainee life all the way to debut, learning how the members got into K-pop and debuted as GFRIEND. First, some basics. GFRIEND is a 6-member girl group that debuted in 2015 with the song Glass Bead. They kind of became popular off the schoolgirl concept, but quickly stood out with changes in that concept, vocal ability, and especially synchronized dancing as a whole. They are originally from Source Music, but in 2019, Big Hit Entertainment bought the company and made them a sub-label of the Big Hit labels, due to the two companies having a very close history together. That is why you see GFRIEND's music videos now uploaded on Big Hit's YouTube channel. So let's move on to the members. Sowon was born in 1995 in Seoul, South Korea. As a student, Sowon's first kind of beginning in the arts or dance was joining her high school's cheerleading team. We really don't know how she transitioned from that into K-pop, but Sowon early in her trainee career started at DSP Media, home to iconic groups in K-pop like Finkel, Kara, and most recently, KARD. Speaking of KARD, since Sowon was a trainee at DSP Media back in 2010, she trained along what would be future members of the co-ed group KARD, which means Sowon might have debuted with them if she stayed. Imagine Sowon singing Liddy Dum Liddy, bang that drum. After training in DSP Media for 4 years and appearing as an actress in the To Me music video for Rainbow, Sowon left to later join Source Music. Training there for another year, Sowon was called GFRIEND's Golden Visual, especially with her height of 5 foot 8 inches, making her one of the tallest K-pop idols out there. Alongside her God-given beauty, Sowon, along with Shinbi, is one of the members that learn new choreography the fastest. So after 5 years of training, Sowon debuted as the leader of GFRIEND. Yerin was born in 1996 in Incheon, South Korea. Similar to many young Korean kids, she really enjoyed K-pop, naming SHINee and Girls' Generation as her favorite groups. Yerin almost instinctively followed the same path as many K-pop idols these days do, auditioning and attending the premier arts school in Korea called SOPA, the School of Performing Arts, where she met a lot of other future K-pop stars and are still friends with many of them till this day. During her trainee time, Yerin was well-rounded and had a bit of experience, spending time as a trainee in Fantasio Entertainment and Cube Entertainment. Her path ultimately led her to join Source Music, where the love of dance and of course K-pop finally gifted her a debut as the lead dancer of GFRIEND. Linha was born in 1997 in Seoul, South Korea. Sadly, Eunha didn't have a regular childhood. When she was 7, she was diagnosed with LCH, or Langerhans cell histiocytosis, by doctors. LCH is a rare disorder that happens when the body produces an excess amount of white blood cells. This can cause a long list of symptoms that could hinder your everyday life. Luckily, over time and regular treatments and checkups, Eunha has been 100% cured. With this clean bill of health, Eunha began to practice by joining the Crazy Dance Academy and school, also continuing with her regular studies. Eunha found her way into Loewen Entertainment as a trainee in 2011, but would take a break from training, however, to finish up her education. She would come back to the trainee life by being one of the 2 GFRIEND members who famously trained in Big Hit Entertainment. Yup, GFRIEND all the way back then were closely tied to Big Hit. After training there for only a year, Eunha was invited by Source Music's team leader at the time in 2014 to join the company, since they were just starting to create what would become GFRIEND. Finally, Eunha joined the lineup and debuted as the lead vocalist of GFRIEND. Yuju was born in 1997 in Ilsan, South Korea. Although she had trouble with her eyesight in her childhood, Yuju had a talent for writing lyrics, composing, and yes, singing.
안녕하세요. 음악중학교 3학년 최윤아입니다. 노래 시작하겠습니다. When you keep me, when you hold me, 늘 곁에 있었던
So she quickly found herself on the stage, and even on the stage of the popular competition show K-Pop Star. This is where the story of JYP rejecting Yuju came from. Not really from a JYP audition, but when Park Jin-young was a judge on K-Pop Star, he didn't give Yuju a pass in the first round, which led her to be eliminated, saying she sounded like a common singer. This didn't keep her down though, as she continued to get better, becoming another trainee at Loewen Entertainment and then Source Music. Yuju is known to have powerful vocals far from what is common. She also lends her voice to many dramas and shows today, as the main vocalist Yuju debuted in GFRIEND. Shinbi was born in 1998 in Cheongju, South Korea, and she was almost destined to be a star. When Shinbi was young, and I mean young, she was a child model for kids' clothing, and she was even in Uljang, which basically means best face in Korean. To provide a little bit more of an understanding of this term, this is a status given to people who are voted best looking by entering contests online, where they are chosen by voters who believe they indeed have the best face. It is something very unique and that started in Korea, with many notable idols that receive that title are in K-pop groups today. And this status can even lead to K-pop companies finding their next big idol. Back to Shinbi, she did quite a lot of work as a kid, appearing on some TV shows.
안녕하세요. 저는 10살 황은비입니다. 저는 항상 저도 모르게 이런 표정을 짓고 있어서 항상 눈이 아파요.
But as she got older, Shinbi ended up on the path of K-pop by being the other GFRIEND member who trained in Big Hit Entertainment. You can even spot her as an extra in Jokwan's music video I'm the One right here. Shinbi would actually be in Big Hit for 5 years. Although this wouldn't be where Shinbi debuted, she moved over to Source Music and debuted as the main dancer and vocalist of GFRIEND. Last but not least, Umji was born in 1998 in Incheon, South Korea. From birth, Umji's future was already very bright. Umji's family is pretty wealthy, with her father being the CEO of a distinguished dentist group with numerous locations across Korea. Umji would go to an English preschool, making her one of the 2 English speakers in GFRIEND, the other being Yuju. We really don't know what she wanted to study or do with her life until fate came along, in the form of the CEO of Source Music actually stopping Umji on the street out of nowhere and inviting her to audition for the company. It's crazy to imagine that these people's lives can take a turn just like that. Umji did indeed pass and join Source Music as a trainee, where she trained for 1 year, one of the shortest training times anyone in the group had, debuting as the lead rapper, vocalist, and maknae of GFRIEND. And that's it for me, guys, and that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully you learned a little bit more about GFRIEND. Believe it or not, GFRIEND is up there with one of my favorite groups. Like, their music, I remember specifically, like, I was having anxiety and I listened to like the most recent GFRIEND album at the time, and I was like, oh my god, my heart is at peace. Let me know down in the comments what you learned, and especially your GFRIEND bias. I got to say, it's Yuju. If you didn't know, I love her voice. It's so powerful, man. Not only that, she's like a human specimen, you know. I can't look. But if you really enjoyed, hit the like and subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss a new How K-pop Groups Were Formed video. Also, who should I cover next? Let me know that down in the comments below as well. Also want to give a quick shout out to the people on Patreon for making these videos possible. If you want to help out, head over to Patreon, consider supporting. Sorry y'all, it doesn't look like we're gonna have a What Happened video for tomorrow for Friday, but I'll come back next week with a brand new one. If you haven't checked out my previous one, What Happened to Infinite, such an amazing story. Check it out if you haven't already. Also check out another video on how K-pop groups were formed, maybe Blackpink right here. But yeah, wave, that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed and have a fantastic weekend. I'll catch you guys in the next one. 안녕.